All right, good evening. Welcome along. SCFC Fan TV live on our YouTube channel. And we are back, the Sunday Bunch, for another edition of Talking Nonsense. With us, with myself tonight, we've got the Mad Mistake, we got Dino, we got Michael Bowers, Sean Middleton, and Jacob Kirkbride. We're all here to hopefully entertain you. Don't forget, we are live, which means you can join us on the live chat. And already, friend of the show, Casey Cameron Jude, says hi to all of us. So hello, Casey, how are you doing? All right. If you want to join in, please just add your questions there, and we'll do our best to answer them if we can. We are looking for 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And as we stand just before we came on air, we are just 104 subscribers away from 4,000. It would be lovely if by the end of tonight we hit 4,000. So if you're watching tonight and you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. And if you are a subscriber, tell your friends, tell your family, just get them there. So we're only 104 away from 4,000. Then we begin the road to 5,000, hopefully by Christmas. So yesterday, Charlton 0, Sunderland 0. Mad Mistake, do you want to kick us off?
You really want me to kick you off?
Well, away you go. Go on.
Well, the first thing Phil Parkinson did wrong was drop Will Grigg. Wait, not drop Will Grigg, not recall Will Grigg. He promoted Danny Graham in front of him. They were playing rotation. They had Will Grigg for the first match. He played well pre-season, had him for the first match, dropped him because he didn't have any chances, didn't score. Brought in Danny Graham, did the same thing. Brought in Mr. Wyke, absolute garbage. But then we decided to go at Danny Graham rather than Will Grigg. But last week, when Scowen was playing, he didn't play very well, but he kept him in the side. And Scowen improved for 2 games on the trot. So imagine if Will Grigg gets a couple of matches on the trot. I'm sure he could do better than Danny Graham did yesterday at putting the ball in the back of the net. I'm not saying Danny Graham had a bad game. He did a lot of things well, but he's not an out-and-out striker. We need a striker to score goals. We can draw all day till the cows come home and hope that the midfield players get a goal now and again. That won't get us in the first 2. That won't get us in the top 2. First half, we had loads of chances, decent chances. We should have been 3 up at half-time, quite comfortable. Charlton were the worst side I've seen this season. They were absolutely awful. They didn't have anything up front. We were just sort of getting the ball whenever we wanted, and we completely dominated the game in the first half. I just can't believe. In the second half, we're poor. Second half, we came out, we didn't have much of a plan. And then Parkinson, like Parkinson does, he makes an absolute mess of the substitutions. We got Diamond on the bench there who come on and run at defenders, run at tired defenders, and he brings Charlie White on, who just wants to commit foul after foul after foul, and then beggars belief. As soon as Mr. Will Grigg's on the pitch, Flabby Flanagan comes out, fouls his man, Flanagan had an awful game as well, mind, yesterday. At every opportunity, from the first second, he wanted to hoof the ball down the line, give the ball out of play. Willis wasn't that much better, mind, on the other side. The first single kick of the game Willis had was to hoof it ball down the pitch and give it away. Second half, the first kick of the game that Willis had was to hoof the ball down the pitch and give it away. I don't understand the hoofed football. As soon as we start playing the ball on the ground, we look really good. There's something in it. Put the ball on the ground. Scown passes the ball well. O'Neill passes the ball well. You got Brian passes the ball well. All the players pass the ball really well. And for me, Ledbetter was absolutely amazing in the centre of the park. You know, it just put the rest to shame. But it's 2 points dropped for me. Anyway, there's me rant over and done with.
And there you go. Thank you and good night. It was good of you to join us. And right then, I knew we shouldn't have let him go first. Right, we've got to say hi to David Algar, Harry Fortunes on the chat there. He says up the eggs. Bristolian Mackham watching. Hello to you as well. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, stick them in the live chat down there. Quickly, myself, with the match yesterday. First half, I thought we were superb. I really did. Missed some sitters. Second half, not so good. But I think, what are you laughing at? Sean, I think, summed it up in one of his when he was doing the interviews after the game. and where he said it feels like a loss, and it did feel like a loss. But we'll come on to the predictions after we've done this. Dino,
Hello.
Charlton 0, Sunderland 0. What do you think?
Well, before the game started, I would have took a draw all day. I mean, I think most would have, because obviously we thought Charlton was going to be one of them games where it was going to be a tough game. They've just come down from the Championship. They've got a good squad. And then after the game, you're fuming because we had the chances. And this is where our season is. It's going to be a hard season because we don't have a striker who can score goals. I mean, don't get us wrong. Well done to Danny Graham for getting in them positions where you got to finish them. I mean, if Charlie White was starting, I don't even believe he would have gotten any of them positions Danny Graham had. So I'll give credit to Danny Graham for getting in them positions, but you've got to put them away. I think, like you say, first half, Danny Graham had 3 chances, I think. One of them he should have buried and somehow he skied it. There's no excuses. No one's in front of him. The ball's coming across. It's an easy tap in. And somehow he's blazed it high and wide. I thought going forward, we did do some nice passing. But the thing is, we're slow with our passing. We're very slow. There's no pace about it. Ledbit and Scowen, I thought were solid. And to be honest, everyone's saying Charlton were terrible. I think the defence played really well. I thought we kept them out. I don't think Birch had a single shot to save. So credit to the defence. Let's not say Charlton were terrible. Let's say our defence was good. Our midfield were good, getting forward and back. Second half, to be honest, I think we let Charlton into the game a little bit. I don't really think we had much of an attacking threat in the second half. Charlton got back into the game. Then the substitutions, I don't know what he's thinking. Unless there's someone injured. I mean, why are you bringing on Greg and Wyke? Why are you bringing them two on? Bring one on, not both. And then Flanagan gets sent off, and then Greg has to go to right wing. I mean, however, man, the bloke plays up front. And let's be fair, Wyke should never really put on a Sunderland top again. Honestly, all the bloke does is commit fouls in needless positions where there's a ball going out for a corner, all he has to do is see him out and he fouls him. He cannot win a header. He cannot dribble. I don't know how the bloke's a footballer. And like the man mistake always says, he's probably a nice bloke, but he's not a good footballer. So 0-0. I'm really disappointed after the performance we give. I'm really disappointed. We should have took all 3, and that's what's going to cost us in the long run.
Well, I thought, Dino, there was all that positivity, and we played well, and defence was fantastic. And then you went to a little bit of doom and gloom. And White should never ever be a footballer ever again, even though he's a nice bloke, like the mad mistake says. Just very quickly, when you said about Danny Graham and that, Jack Dodds, who's on the chat, Jack was interviewed by Sean last night after the match.
Yep.
He says Danny Graham should be starting for him. He says, Andrew Robbins down here, hi, wee Philly, we got to stop meeting like this. No, Andrew Robbins, what you've got to do is you've got to stop online shopping, and then I wouldn't be delivering parcels to your house every day. And then to be honest, I think I see Andrew Robbins more than I see my wife now. So I'll probably see you tomorrow with another parcel, I would imagine. So we'll see you then. Michael, 0-0.
Well, while you're delivering parcels, can you deliver a guide to how to be a good footballer at Charlie White store, please? That would actually be a really good start. So everyone's going on about these positives, but I'm amazed at the amount of negativity I've seen after the game. Now, I'm not saying that I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed to not get 3 points. Of course I am. We should have been in front at half time. Danny Graham, as Dino was spot on about Danny Graham for me, actually. Danny Graham, I disagree in that he's not a goal scorer. I think he is capable of getting double figures in this league. Much more than 10, probably not. But at least, unlike Charlie White, and granted, this isn't a ringing endorsement, but it's a fact. Danny Graham at least gets himself in goal-scoring positions. And I was encouraged by Graham from what I saw yesterday. But I think everyone's conveniently forgotten we went down to 10 men in the second half. Whether people forget how we played before then, when you go down to 10 men, your game plan has to change completely to the point where you then have to not lose the game. The fact is, on many occasions, when a team goes down to 10 men, they can crumble. It's a mentally difficult thing. You have to work extra hard for the man that you've lost on the pitch itself. I couldn't complain too much with the red card from what I saw. If it was the other way around, you'd be appealing for a red card. Look, we should have won the game, and forget where Charlton are now. Forget the problems they've got in the minute. Charlton will be up there by the end of the season. I'm convinced they'll be pushing at least for the playoffs. Whether or not they are right now for me is irrelevant. They will be. And we looked at these 4 games, Bristol Rovers, take Bristol Rovers out with for a minute. Oxford, Peterborough and Charlton. Nobody can tell me they wouldn't have took 7 points before those 3 games. We have not conceded in any of those games. And people say, oh, we don't beat the teams around. We did. We beat Oxford. We beat Peterborough. That's gone out of everyone's memories all of a sudden. And although missing the chances yesterday can cost us, I think results like 1-1 against Bristol Rovers. Sorry, Charlie, if you're watching. Results like 1-1 against Bristol Rovers will cost us more, in my opinion, than drawing away at Charlton would. We should have won the game. We didn't. We're not in a terrible position, but we have games coming up now where screw anything. We should be getting wins in these games. I think if as far as the front 2 is concerned, give Graham and Grigg a go. I think both of them have goals within them if you play them consistently enough. Parkinson has got to stop rotating strikers over and over and over and over and over. And by the way, yes, please don't ever use Wyke again. The problem is Wyke will probably start against Swindon because he loves him that much. But there you go. I hate slating him, but he isn't good enough.
So bottom line is we should be playing Grigg in his wig. Apparently, up front, I agree. Quickly on the chat again, Taffy Mackham, friend of the show. Hi, Taffy Mackham. Wee Philly, can you please deliver a copy of Please Release Me, Let Me Go to Charlie Wyke? He says, Stuart Shaw, Philly, please deliver a striker to the Burke Parkinson, says down here. Sean, Charlton nil, Sunderland nil. What did you reckon? Oh, sorry, just quickly, Sean, before you go. It's 6-1 to Tottenham, by the way, now, if anybody's watching that. Go on, Sean.
I thought was the first half was I thought was the best 45 minutes of the season so far. I thought were absolutely brilliant. And I Terry said Charlton were the worst team, but I think that was because we made them look that way, made them look that bad. And I agree with what Matt has said there. Charlton, irrespective of what you think, they will be thereabouts coming into the season. I mean, that season when the first season when the players in the playoff final, they start off really poor, and then gradually when they got into the rhythm of things, they were the best side actually in the league, and they were really kicking on. I think they finished third at the end, and obviously they won the playoffs. So Charlton's a good side. We absolutely played them off the park. We created some great chances, which was my worry. Ledbetter was like Iniesta in the middle. He was brilliant yesterday. I don't know where his performances are coming from, but I'm loving it. He's just looking absolutely brilliant in that middle. He's getting the ball. He's sprinting around. He's looking confident. I think I understand now. Obviously, Grant, he lost his mum. I think his head wasn't in the right place. And I'll put my hands up. I've said I think his better days have gone. But I'll tell you something now. If he plays like he has the last 2 games, what a player we've got this season, because he's been our best player the last 2 games. He's been absolutely brilliant. And I thought Scowen was okay as well. Back three was class. To be fair, I don't know what game Terry was watching, but the back three played that good. They kept Charlton out. They didn't give them a sniff. Obviously, the chances, and people are going about the chances, but I'm going to try and going different than what everybody else is thinking, because I think eventually we will get it right. I think Will Grigg and Graham will get the goals. They're getting in the right positions. The Danny Graham chance was bad. I mean, the lads next to us giving them grief. But I'm thinking to myself, it's just needs a goal. Let's get a goal, and then he'll probably score a few. Do you know what I mean? We're creating chances now. I mean, all the fans. This is the thing about the problem within our club. The toxicness with the supporters getting on the players' backs. It's just one game. We played Charlton. I think off the pitch. We played them off the pitch. Made them look like an average side. We should have won that game. It felt like a defeat. But take the positives. It's three games now. No goals conceded. Clean sheets. Yes, we should have won. We should have scored. But we'll get it right, and I'm confident.
Right. I think, Jacob, I think you've just seen it as well, haven't you?
Yeah, my dad's just come in and seen the score.
Quote so far, the quote of the night so far on the live chat. SFC Dave 17 says, Jacob's not happy looking at Tottenham winning.
I'm absolutely buzzing. I do not like Manchester United. Seeing them get stuffed in their own backyard is very satisfying.
You're gutted because your rivals have banged six in at Old Trafford. Before we go to our Arsenal fan, Mad Mistake, you're trying to get in there.
I didn't say the centre-backs. I didn't say the defence was bad. The defence played brilliant yesterday. What I said was the distribution is poor. The distribution from Willis and Flanagan, when they got the mindset of hoofing the ball, that's poor distribution. But the defensive side of things are brilliant, yes.
Right, well, on the comments, Steve Flounders says, Sean, we weren't brilliant. If we were brilliant against a very poor Charlton side, we would have won. I think somebody nailed it. Somebody nailed it in the interviews, on one of your interviews, Sean. I think when they said it, at least at the end of the day, it's nice that we're talking about Sunderland hammering a team and the complaint being that we couldn't put the ball in the net, but we were brilliant. It's nice to be talking like that of how well we played than us being absolutely rubbish and like that. Very quickly, Michael, and then we can go to Jacob because he needs to get in to talk about this Tottenham 6 goals what have gone in.
Oh, I'm sure he's delighted, man. The narrative last week was, right, we won. Oh, but we played rubbish, but we won. And now it's the opposite way around this week. Oh, we didn't win. Oh, but we played all right, but we didn't win. Right, which narrative going with here? Like, I'm not trying to have, and I know it sounds like I'm having a dig. It's just frustrating to me when the narrative seems to change and we do 180s every single game. It's like, right, you either take the result if you take the result at face value that we didn't win this week, then the performance last week shouldn't matter. If you're worried about the performance last week, then you should be at least better with the satisfied with the performance this week. Can we please maintain a bit of consistency? And very quickly,
that's a cracking point. That's a cracking point there.
Yeah, when we talk about Danny Graham, and nobody, as far as I've seen here, has done it, but I've seen people on social media going on about Graham's first spell at the club. Can we please stop talking about that? It was in the Premier League. There's much better opposition. It's a fact. He's going to be up against much less caliber of defenders and opposition, regardless of his age. You know, a lot of players play to late 30s. Many players have played to that age in League One. So come on. I'm getting a bit bored of reading it.
There you go, and there's
Michael, but you've got to go off the last time he was here because he wasn't a great finisher then.
He wasn't a great.
But he's getting worse as a player. So he's worse as a player now.
You think?
And we're in a worse league. So, like for him, it might still be like the Premier League to him because he's slower, he's more injury prone, and to be honest, he was never a finisher. He never was for us.
If he was slower, though,
it deflected off his leg.
Those positions yesterday,
off his arse.
Right, all right. Well, we'll agree to do. Well, you two will agree to disagree on
that. Wait there. He says that, but why is everyone comparing Ledbetter when he was here the first time for the second time, and you've done it? So you can't say don't do it for Graham, but you can do it for Ledbetter.
I never once said anything about Ledbetter
because you always say he's not the player he was. He's worse. He's this, that, and the other. Ledbetter and Graham are the same age.
Hang on.
I think anyway.
No, hang on. Dino, I know he's getting a bite out of us because that's annoyed me. I didn't watch Ledbetter in his first time, so you can't tell me I've compared Ledbetter to his first time.
Oh dear.
That's not a fair comment to make.
Right. Other people do though.
Yeah, but then if they shouldn't do it, Ledbetter, don't do it with Graham. Simple as that.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, Michael.
I must say on the game yesterday now.
You know what? I feel a little bit awkward now, actually.
Yes, so do I. What's going on here?
Coming between you two.
You need to start with someone.
Right, listen. We're now going to go. Yesterday's game, Charlton 0, Sunderland 0. We're going to go to a very upset, very sad Jacob down in London because his biggest rivals, Tottenham, are winning 6-1 at Old Trafford. So
I'm buzzing for Spurs. I don't like Man United at all. On to the game yesterday. Frustrating game, particularly in the second half. But in the first half, I think we knocked the ball so much better compared to how we did against Peterborough. Grant Ledbetter in that holding role in midfield, absolutely terrific once again. I think there was a moment in the first half where he put put the ball through someone's legs, which was absolutely brilliant to see. Definitely comparisons to Iniesta at Barcelona back in the day. Not quite, but second half though, I was just wondering what Bowers was feeling like when Phil Parkinson decided to make substitutions before 70 plus minutes, to be honest. But brings Charlie Mike on, and like you guys were saying, he gets fouls, he offers nothing to the team. I think there was one moment in the game, like in the last, where we pumped a free kick towards the edge of their box. He just ends up like pushing someone to the floor, and we're chasing the game. The thing is, because we've not got a game next week, I still think it's a missed opportunity. It's going to pile on more pressure when we eventually do play. Is it Blackpool we were meant to play next week when we play that game in hand? But overall, still a good display. We were by miles the better team. The red card completely changed the game. I think if we did have 11 men on the pitch, it would have been completely different going into the latter stages. But overall, positive things to work on. Charlton, I was quite disappointed in them, but at the same time, it's still early doors in the season, and you do expect them towards the end to be right up there. So I am satisfied, but when we come back, we do need to pick up points quickly, considering that we would have played a game less compared to a lot of teams.
Yeah, definitely.
Mad Mistake.
There's one thing I want to say. We cannot compare the Peterborough match to the Charlton match. Peterborough won the offensive with pace. Dembele was fast, put us under pressure. They came at us. They wanted to win. They give everything. Charlton backed off. They backed off and backed off. They let Sunderland come at them. Two different games altogether. Peterborough, at this moment in time, are a much better side than Charlton. That's why we played better against Charlton than Peterborough.
Michael?
That wasn't the point I was getting at, though, Terry. The point I was getting at was that everybody...
Lots of people say that. Lots of people said that.
Well, no, but I mean, like, everyone was grumbling about the performance last week, but we won. And then this time we didn't win, but, no one's mentioning, but the performance was better. It's that conflicting narrative that really pisses me off, that people not just find a consistency. Like, look, like we said, we should have won. And yeah, you can say Charlton were rubbish, but like, I think Dino may have said this and he was right. How do we know it wasn't us making them look poor? Why is it always got to be, Charlton didn't offer anything? Well, what, maybe because we didn't let them offer anything? That, why is it always got to be, they were rubbish? At the end of the day, you can only play what's put in front of you. You can only play the card you dealt in a game. And yeah, we should have won it. Forget it. Go on. Whoever.
Sean, you're trying to get in.
I agree with Mike. What he's saying here. Like last week, Peter was a good side. I mean, their front field caused many teams problems. Johnson Clawhouse is class. That Dembele is great.
Both 3 second half goals yesterday as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to happen. I mean, we last week people said we didn't play well, but maybe that was the tactics we had to use within our squad to beat Peterborough. If we went all out, they would have ripped us to shreds. I think Parkinson got it right tactically last week. You've got to adjust to different teams. Do you know what I mean? You can't just gun all guns blazing against teams like Peterborough. But Charlton, maybe it was a different setup, and they did sit back and they let us go at them. So last week we didn't play very well. We got 3 points against a good side, and this week we should have won the game. We played really well. It just seems like there's this, the Sunderland fans are never happy. They've always got something to whinge about instead of just trying to take the positives and trying to, be.
Right, just quickly before we let Dino in, Jacob, bad news. It has finished 6-1 to Tottenham at Old Trafford. Dino, you're trying to get in there.
I'm not an Arsenal fan.
You're not an Arsenal fan.
Are you a Tottenham fan then?
No, it's an Arsenal stroke Sunderland. Right, Dino, we'll go to Dino, then Mile wants to get in, then Mad Mistake. So, Dino.
Right, this is the thing, right? When we're playing badly and we're getting results, I mean, you can't keep playing badly and get results, because then when you're playing badly, a team will turn you over. When you're playing good, but you're not getting the results, at least you're playing good. There's positives there. So when you're playing good and you don't get a result, it's like, we didn't get it, but we're playing well. And then the next game you play well and then get the result, But if you're playing badly, it was like last season, we're playing badly, we're getting results, but then all of a sudden, we can't play good anymore. We'll always play badly, and then teams will figure out what we're doing and then capitalize on it. So it's better to play good and not get the result than playing bad and getting results, because that can only happen for so long. But if you're playing good, the results will come.
Right. Before we go to you, Michael, just quickly on the chat, Callum Knight says, if we don't sign a striker before the window shuts, then we won't be seeing many goals this season. Now, I disagree with that because the answer.
We've signed a striker. We're signing a striker.
Well, the answer.
Benji Kimmioka, he's a new striker, isn't he?
Listen,
that's a signing. It's a signing. We're letting go. It's a signing.
The answer's in Will Grigg. It's as simple as that. Right, Michael, and then we'll go to. Sorry, go on, Michael.
I give. I do agree with Dino actually here because I do think that if you're playing badly, and this was a familiar theme with Jack Ross, for instance, that we were scraping results all the time. But yeah, obviously that isn't sustainable over the course of a whole season. What I will say to counteract the point I made earlier, if Sunderland played like they did against me, I didn't have a problem with the way Sunderland played against Peterborough. Like I said last week, if Sunderland went full throttle, how would people feel if Sunderland went full throttle against Peterborough, had a number of chances but lost the game 3-4 or something like that? Oh, but at least the chance creation was good. The end of the game. So, in that, I don't mind those tactics against certain teams. Now, if we played against Crewe or Rochdale like that, I fully agree with any criticism that you will throw at the team. Sunderland should have enough in the tank to beat the likes of Crewe and Rochdale comfortably. Watch both of them beat us. Now I've said that. So there you go. There's the warning in advance. But
right,
there you go.
Right, quickly, before we go to the mad mistake, then on the live chat, Tyler Rowlandson. Woo!
Here he is.
Oh yeah,
Tyler, our friend who was on our Thursday night show, the Charlton fan, he says, very honest as well. We were very lucky to come away with a point. They were poor, again, like they have been all season. Yeah, they were poor, but maybe, like Dino said, maybe we made you look poor. I'd like to think. Anyway, Sean, mad mistake, are you not wanting in now, no?
Okay, there's loads of Charlton fans have come on. I've spoke to over the last couple of weeks saying their team's playing really poor at the moment. They're playing really badly. That's probably the reason why we played better, because Charlton are underperforming at this moment in time. The Peterborough match, Peterborough nullified us, right? They made us look average because they're a better side. You have to accept Peterborough are a good side. And we did really well to get 3 points against them. It wasn't a brilliant performance, but we ground out the performance. We need to start, when we are dominating matches in the future, and the next 4 or 5 games will tell, we need to start taking teams apart and getting the 3 points. That's all I'm saying. It's not a bad start. We got 8 points, 4 matches with 4th place. It's a decent enough start. And I'm not Phil Parkinson's biggest fan. I will back him 100% while he's here, but I hope that he can find some way of getting the team to score goals and taking the 3 points over the next 4 or 5 matches, and then we'll all be much happier.
Right, hang on. We'll go to Sean next, and then we'll go Michael. But before we do, I want to bring in the live chat. Andrew Robbins, my stalker and top online shopper, keeping me in a job, says, and it's a very good point, we still haven't conceded in open play as yet, which is a good point. Jack Dodds doesn't really rate Benji at all. Thane says hello to us. Hi, Thane, friend of the show. And Dino, Stu Shaw says, Dino, get a grip. Parkinson won't pick Benji. So, but that's, I
was being sarcastic when I say we're signing a striker called Benji. I was being a bit sarcastic.
Right. Sean, you want to get in, then we'll go to you, Michael.
No, it's when Terry said earlier, 100% that Peterborough made us look average. I think Peterborough were slightly the better side. I'll be honest there. I wouldn't say the man made us look average, but I'll go back to what I was saying earlier. I think you've got to play at your strengths, and I think Phil Parkinson, to be fair, he's getting everything right really so far, and his decision making. He's made some big calls, but he's come at the side betting. So he has made some big calls, and there's a stat I want to read out as well off the Sunderland News and Banter page. It's basically Bailey Wright, right? He's played 10 games, for Sunderland. We've kept 8 clean sheets and we've only conceded 3 goals, and one of them was a penalty. So when Bailey Wright's in the side, look at that stat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, okay. We're going to go to Miles, then I'm sure Madam Estelle will want to come in because you're praising Phil Parkinson. In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll bring Michael in and then we'll get on to Parkinson in a bit, because I know the Mad Mistake needs to have a proper sound off about that. So, Michael.
Yeah, it was quite funny talking about how Mad Mistake isn't Phil Parkinson's biggest fan, because I was rewatching the brilliant season review that our editor Conrad Lee did of last season. Go and watch it if you haven't already. It's really well put together. And it was funny, I was watching the clip and one of the Sunday bunches where Terry was actually championing Phil Parkinson and saying, we need to give him time. We need to give him all this, that, and the other. So I just found it quite funny how obviously your opinion can change in a year, of course, but I just thought that was quite funny. The second thing is, yes, we have only conceded one goal, and that was a penalty, which was down to a Lee Burge howler. But at the same, as much as anyone knows me, I'm Mr. Clean Sheet. I basically love keeping clean sheets. I think it's always good because it gives you a basic platform to go and win a game. As much as I want us to keep keeping clean sheets, we can't rely on that though, just to win games. I do want us to score more goals. But I'm taking into account who we've played so far this season. If we don't say again, you've got Swindon coming up, Crewe, Rochdale, Gillingham, even Portsmouth to a degree. If we don't deliver offensively against those teams, fair enough. Then I won't say anything.
All right. Well, just very quickly there, you might be Mr. Clean Sheets. I'm Mr. Dirty Sheets because our lass is rubbish with the laundry. Absolutely rubbish. You want to see the state of them. Anyway,
you had to go there.
Well, you started. Don't forget. I'll go on quickly. Mad mistake. Go on then. Jump in.
Okay, yes, I was champion Phil. I give everybody an opportunity to do well. I give everybody time. Everyone deserves the time. Everyone deserves opportunity. But Sean, what do you think of this?
Right. Well, quickly, can I get in? I'm not a big fan of Wake. Anyway, just very quickly, look, we're on a quest to try and get 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And just before we went on air, we're only 104 subscribers away from 4,000. Then we can start on the road to 5,000. So please, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, just hit the subscribe button there. It's absolutely free to do so. And if you haven't, tell your friends, tell your family, get them to do it and help us on our quest. It'd be much, much appreciated.
Come on, do it.
Quickly, Dino.
I've got a question for all you.
Well, wait. Can you let me do this, and then we can do the question, and then we'll go round. All right. Because before we go to Dino's question, right, I want to quickly go through the predictions we made on Thursday. Now, the mad mistake. Can you remember what you said?
2-0 Sunderland, and it should have been
2-0 Sunderland. You was wrong. Michael Bowers.
So I got the result right, so I'm taking that. I said
we've got to guess what it was. 1-1, you said. All right. Jacob, what did you say?
2-1.
2-1. Sean, if you'd have had a prediction, what would you have said?
I was going to see a Charlton 2-1.
And Dino, what would you have said?
I would have probably went 1-1 as well.
So there was only me got it exactly spot on with 0-0. Once again, 100% record on my predictions.
Let's go back and look at all the previous videos.
Right. I was going to go on to Phil Parkinson, but Dino's quickly jumped in there.
Yeah, right.
And has got a question for us.
I just want to ask: were you happy when he brought Danny Graham off and brought Wyke on, and took O'Brien off for Grigg? Because I think if you're going to bring anyone off, you bring Grigg off. I mean, you bring Wyke off. Graham, fuck's sake. Bring Graham off for Grigg. For me, you keep O'Brien on the pitch because let's be fair, if anyone was going to come off the pitch for a winger, it should have been Gooch. I thought Gooch had an absolute shocking game. He wasn't in the game. I don't remember Gooch actually doing anything half decent. I thought he had a really poor display. I don't know what you think. What do you reckon?
Well, for me, I mean, the first half. I watched the first half, and we was absolutely superb, and I thought we was brilliant. And I said to our lads, as I always said, and I've always said, Sunderland are never the same, both halves. All right, so we was brilliant first half, and I knew we was there now having to prepare myself for second half Sunderland, and second half Sunderland came out. On the transfer of the strikers, I've wanted to see Will Grigg and Danny Graham up front as a partnership, playing two up front, 4-4-2, couple of wingers in there, wing backs at least, or whatever, getting forward, getting the crosses in to Danny Graham and Will Grigg. So I would have rather one come off, and it would have been left with Danny Graham and Will Grigg for myself. But that's me, Michael.
I agreed with bringing Grigg on. I didn't agree whatsoever with bringing Wyke on. Like I've said constantly, personally for me, I'd have took O'Brien off and brought Grigg on and had Grigg and Graham up front as a partnership, because I think then at least you've got a chance of having some firepower up top. Wyke literally came on, and whoever said this was spot on. Wyke came on, and literally probably within a few minutes, he gave away a silly free kick. That was the only negative thing I thought we did after going down to 10 men. But Wyke, all he does literally is just walk around. He's walking around like a big lump on the pitch, and he just gives away silly free kicks. I don't get what Parkinson sees in him. I really don't. He's not mobile. He's rubbish in front of goal. He's rubbish physically. Can we please? He's a nice lad. Just please, though, don't use him, because if you use him regularly, we won't go up. We haven't got a chance.
Jacob?
Yeah, I can understand why he brought Grigg on, because I think Will Grigg, the ball just needs to fall to him in the right area in the box. But Charlie Wyke just commits too many fouls, too much physicality on him, and Graham does that role so much better. I know he missed that chance yesterday that he should have buried, but he just shows a lot more in his hold-up play and a lot more quality in terms of how you're meant to be a hold-up striker. But with Lyndon Gooch yesterday, I was noticed there was time, it felt like he was playing in that number 10 role, just in behind the strikers. And for me, it doesn't work when Gucci's playing there. If you're going to play Gucci, like use him to his full potential, I think we need to go for 3 up top, but he needs to be on the left of that. I think that's where you can use his trickery a lot more, get the ball into the box and potentially cut in on his left and have a shot at goal. But playing in behind, I know he had a decent shot second half that just went over the bar, but it didn't work for him yesterday. But I have faith he'll have better performances than that.
Mad mistake?
I think we've all said this already. You know, the likes of Dan Neil and Jack Diamond. He's going to put Jack Diamond on the bench. He's never going to bring him on. It's a waste of it. Waste of it. Someone sitting on the bench, because he won't play Jack Diamond. He's not playing Dan Neil. Jack Diamond should have came on yesterday afternoon with his pace, his directness. He would have came on for Gooch for me. And yeah, Wyke should never be allowed to be on the pitch again for Sunderland at all. He's just an absolute pointless waste of time in League One for Sunderland. I don't know what on earth Phil Parkinson sees in Charlie Wyke, but we're never going to go up if he persists with Charlie Wyke. We're not going to go up full stop. I 100% agree with Michael there. But for me, Grigg should have been on a lot sooner than 61 minutes, but at the end of the day, it's opinion, my opinion.
It was early for Parkinson,
right.
mind.
Right, okay. Before we come down to you, Sean, I want to quickly go to the chat. Andrew Robbins, top online shopper, says Dino's on the rich energy, apparently.
Aren't you, Sean?
I don't know the way Stephen Hensel's thinking, but he thinks we should go 4-4-3 with Wyke, Graham, and Grigg.
We're not having a goalkeeper.
Well, I think we should turn a few teams over if we do that. Andrew Elwood on the chat says Graham and Grigg, but 5-3-2 with the wing backs. Yeah, well, I'd do me as well, I suppose, so long as people are getting the service into the forwards. So, Sean, Dino's question.
Well, and obviously bringing Charlie Wyke, and I think it's never going to please every Sunderland fan, is it? I mean, his goal ratio is not great, is it? And it wasn't last season either. I'm not one for getting on the back of players. Well, max power maybe.
Yeah, max power.
What do you call pointless power?
But I think the two subs, he made the subs in the 65th minute, didn't he? So he made 2 subs. I think then was just a case of freshening things up. But I would have brought Grigg on, but I would have kept Graham on. Do you know what I mean? And just sort of give them a chance. But I think what sort of ruined things in the game was the Flanagan sending off winner, because that just destroyed our system. We had to change the system, didn't we? And it just affected us big style. But I think kind of about the strikers, I know a lot's been said on social media about our strikers, but I'm convinced that Will Grigg and Danny Graham will come good. I'll put my neck on the line here, and if they didn't, but I just think they need a goal. I think they need a goal, and once they get a goal, I think Danny Graham, Matthew Lee sent us a message earlier on there, and he sent 2 clips of. Can you remember the chance against Norwich when Barini crossed it to Defoe and he slid in against Norwich and he scored that goal? Well, it was sort of a mirror image of when Gooch crossed over yesterday and Graham had the chance to the left foot and he hit it over open goal, hit over the bar. Just shows you how times have changed, isn't it? But I think they'll come good, mate. Like, I do.
Right, quickly again on the chat. Callum Knight, a man after my own heart there. 442, Danny Graham and Will Grigg. I can't believe, again, well, I can't believe, I suppose. I know I said on Thursday and in the run-up to the game that I would be over the moon with a point at Charlton, because regardless of how they've started the season and how poor they were yesterday, they are going to be up there thereabouts, and I think we all agree it'd be quite a shock if they're not. And so before the game, yes, I'd said all day I'd be over the moon, and like we said earlier, it did feel like a loss because we played so well. But again, you know, another clean sheet, was still unbeaten. And then people are talking about, you know, Parky out and stuff like this, especially the mad mistake down there. Absolutely despises him. So that's where we're going to go next. But on the chat, Jack Dodds has said, Parky in. We've got a brilliant defence now. The job he's done on the defence, and I suppose at the end of the day, if you start, you know, if you stop people scoring, then you know you're at least going to get a draw, and it's bang it. You only need to then bang one in, and you've got the win. So, well, all right.
No.
You can have your say.
You don't want to draw. We had 19 draws in the first season. I don't want any more.
Let me finish. No, I'm not saying we settle for draws. What I'm saying is you get a minimum of a draw if you keep a clean sheet, right? All it needs then is one goal, just one goal. We were scoring in that season with Jack Ross. We were scoring every single game, but we was conceding. Now, if we'd have had the defence we've got now, right, in that season, was only getting one goal. We couldn't get the second goal, but those draws would be the wins, which we were all talking about, you know, the other season when we did that. So is Phil Parkinson the man for the job to get us promoted? I'm not going to start with the mad mistake because we know how he feels about it, but you could but you could come in. You could come in a sec. Dino, we'll start with you.
You know what? I think Phil Parkinson's too stubborn to realise that Charlie Wyke isn't the answer. So I'm going to say, if he keeps with Charlie Wyke, then no. I mean, you need to go with either Graham or Graham Grigg. I mean, the bloke, if he keeps playing Charlie Wyke isn't even a good Sunday League footballer, never mind a League One footballer. So for me, Phil Parkinson, if he doesn't change his ways, no.
Right. Well, you're on about Charlie Wyke there. Thane, who we had on the show the other week, says Wyke would make a better centre-back because he does more in our box than the opponent's box. So which is
you give away more penalty fouls, everyone.
Right then, so I cannot believe it, man. How you are with Phil Parkinson. Right. Sean, go on then. Phil Parkinson, is he the man for the job or what?
Well, obviously, last season, I think we're all the same, really, we're all sort of on the fence. But I think now you look at the players he's brought in, you look at the way he's organising these teams. I mean, the defence, look at our defence now. Our defence is solid. And yesterday, I mean, the creativity was there. There was plenty of chances. If on another day, it was like the whole game where we're free flowing, playing lovely football. If we just all we've got to do now is just get that end product, and then we'll be fine. Phil Parkinson, I think he's the man, and I think he'll deliver the promotion this season. I'm confident. I think, you know what the start we've had. We've got 4 games with 8 points. We've played Peterborough, who will be up there, right? We've played Oxford, who will be up there. We've played Charlton, who will be up there, and we've kept a clean sheet against the 3 of them. That in itself is a massive achievement. Yes, the Bristol Rovers game wasn't a good result, and we all disappointed, me and Michael, a lot of us, and rightly so. We should have won that game. It's not the games like the Charltons and Peterboroughs. It's going to be the games like your Bristol Rovers and your Swindons. Them are the games that will define us this season. But I'm confident that Phil Parkinson will deliver promotion this season.
Well, on the chat very quickly, Thane again. Talking a lot of sense, saying, did you see our defending under Ross? Look at the Coventry game, which is a fair point. So we'll go to Jacob. Is Phil Parkinson the man for the job?
Yeah, I think he's the right man to get us out of this league in the long run. I don't think he's the right if we go up into the Championship. But at this moment in time, I have every faith he can get the best out of certain players that we currently have in that squad. But Charlie Wyke, I don't think he's the answer up front. I don't think he has much of a future. But you look at the job he did when he got Bolton out of League One. He was working with a restricted budget. Bolton had a lot of financial problems at the time, and he managed to get the best out of a couple of fringe players who were in that Bolton squad at the time when they got promoted out of League One. Can he do the same with us? I believe so. He's got better foundations to work with, a lot better players. And also, he can grind out results as well. That's the type of manager Phil Parkinson is. Fantastic, good manager for this league. But in the long run, no. But I'll still back Parky at this moment in time.
Before we go to you, Michael, Taffy Mackham says Parky is the man for the job. If the job is driving the team bus, apparently. So, Michael Bowers, is Phil Parkinson the man for the job?
Yes, I would say he is. I think a lot of the, well, like Dion said, don't get me wrong, I don't want to just keep getting 0-0 draws. He's right, we did get 19 draws in the first season, but a lot of those draws were 1-1s, 1-1, 1-1, 2-2. A pattern is keep clean sheets, you win those games. So that, as much as scoring goals is definitely important, I'm not going to pretend it isn't, keeping clean sheets is just as important, because a lot of the times teams that go up and win the league have to have very good defences. So Parkinson has sorted that bit out. And under Ross, I think we all agree. Under Ross, defensively, we were very suspect on the best of times.
Why is there a fan?
Big fan of yours. Big fan of yours.
Anyways, but yes, look, Parkinson for me has given the foundation of a good defence on. Now, yes, like I said before, I'd be more worried if we weren't creating the chances in the first place. If we're continuing to not take them like in 10, 15 games or so, yes, obviously that's going to be a concern. I just think at the moment, with who we've played, I think we'll wait and see what happens after the likes of Swindon or Crewe or Rochdale or Gillingham, And let's forget, like Hull, for example, I think Lincoln and Hull are in the top two. I can't remember exactly who Lincoln's played, but if you look at who Hull's played, Gillingham away, okay, fair enough, that's a pretty good result. Then they've played Crewe, they've played Northampton, they've played Plymouth. If we'd have had the fixtures Hull had in the first 4 games and had 8 points, I would be disappointed. I wouldn't say that's a good start. Let's wait and see what happens. Now, what I will agree with Dino on, if Parkinson continues to persist with Wyke, then he deserves massive scrutiny for that. He needs to realise Wyke isn't good enough to lead the line and help get Sunderland promoted. It's as simple as that. So at the minute, yes, persist with Wyke, no.
Right. Back on the chat very quickly. Sunderland till I died. George said, well said, Sean. Where was the other one? Oh, Brian Watson. Parky out for me. Phillips or Clough in for him, apparently, he thinks. So we're gonna go to the Mad Mistake now. If you haven't seen the Mad Mistakes vlog from yesterday after the game,
we went off on one.
If you want to see absolute passion from a diehard Sunderland fan, make sure you watch his vlog after the game. And however, to tell you himself in person, the Mad Mistake is Phil Parkinson, the man for the job.
Right. In the spur of the moment, when the passion's going, you do criticise people because that's what you want to do. But it's all right. Right. I did say in the previous video when asked, is Phil Parkinson the man for the job for the full season, for part of the season? I did say the full season. So I'm not going to change my mind now. I think Phil Parkinson should be here for the full season, given the full season, and then everybody, with the beauty of YouTube, we can come back to this and watch other people's opinions and how nice they love Phil Parkinson, how he's doing a great job, and this, that, and the other. For me, can you do 2 things in League One? A League One team's good enough to either A, brilliant in defence and score a shitload of goals, or, like with Jack Ross, score a load of goals but leaky in defence. Can a League One side do both? Can they be brilliant in defence and score a load of goals? So far under Parkinson, no. He's a defensive side, the kind of bloke, which is fair enough. Well done for the defensive side. He's got to find a way of unlocking other people's defences. Right. I don't have to like him to support him. I'm not a massive fan of him, but he will get my support while he's here. He needs to persist with a striker. give them a run of games, whether it's Graham or Greg. Greg's my preferred player, but if he's going to choose Graham, he needs to give him a run of games, simple as. Never, ever play Charlie White again in the history of Sunderland Football Club. And please, get the centre-backs to play the ball to the central midfielders. Get the ball on the ground and pass it to someone like Ledbetter, who can do, like Sean says, Iniesta-style football and pass it around. Don't hoof the ball down the park to give needless balls away. You're giving possession away and it will come back to haunt you at some point. So Phil Parkinson, let's get central defenders down, get them to calm it down, pass the ball to the midfielders, let the midfielders do what they are getting paid to do, and that's supply the forward line.
Well said. Right, on the chat then, very quickly, Tuffy Mackham says, how did the Mad Mistake manage to get a video from Donald Trump yesterday? So again, that's another good reason to watch his vlog from his hospital bed in America. Donald Trump did tweet. Go on quickly, Dino, if you want to jump in.
I just want to say something about, I watched Sean's interviews and someone was criticising Lee Burge, saying that he's not the man and stuff like that. And I'm getting a bit pissed off with people's opinions about Lee Burge. He's had 3 clean sheets. Fine, the Bristol Rovers game he made a howler. But, I mean, what keeper doesn't? I mean, the bloke didn't have a save to make yesterday, but he was dropping it down. He was giving the ball away quickly to Ledbetter. He's doing all the right things for me. He's a good shot stopper. He saved in the Peterborough game with some of his saves. I mean, yesterday, Jordan Pickford, who's a really good goalkeeper, plays for England, made an absolute howler. I mean, keepers have howlers now and again. Lee Burge is League One goalkeeper, and I don't understand why people don't have faith in Lee Burge. I really don't get it. I mean, I think Lee Burge is definitely one of the better goalkeepers in this league. Yeah, he's not John McLaughlin, but he's got better aspects than John McLaughlin, like releasing the ball quickly. Maybe his shot stopping's a bit about the same, but he's commanding his box. He's a little bit like weak, lacking confidence, but he's still a good keeper, and I just don't understand why people are getting on Lee Burge's back. Still.
When you was on about commanding boxes, then I nearly jumped in with one of those jokes, which are not suitable for the channel. So quickly, so we won't go there. We'll go to Michael, and then we'll go to Jacob. Michael?
Like Dino said, yeah, look, I don't think Lee Burge is as good as McLaughlin, but I do think he's a competent enough keeper. And like I've said constantly, if your defence does the responsibilities in front of the goalkeeper, then the goalkeeper is going to have less and less to do. The last line defence is the goalkeeper, but if your defence isn't going to do the job properly, you might as well not have a goalkeeper. There's no point. It's a combination of both. If everyone does their jobs, then it shouldn't matter.
Jacob?
Yeah, this criticism towards Lee Burge at the moment, yeah, he was a bit faulty in the Peterborough game, parrying some shots back out into the danger zone, but he still kept 3 clean sheets in a row in the league. Like, credits where it's due, and don't get me, he has got a fantastic defence in front of him to help him out, but at the same time, yeah, he's not as good as John McLaughlin, but he is still a decent replacement to come in for John McLaughlin. I can understand people's worries how he's not like commanding, particularly on set pieces, as much as McLaughlin was when the balls get put in, but he does release the ball a lot quicker, and I think his kicking, like particularly getting it in the right direction up the pitch, has been a lot better than McLaughlin at times. So I think we just got to give the guy credit so far. I mean, he hasn't conceded a goal from open play, and 3 clean sheets in a row, that's all you want from a goalkeeper. So I wish Lee Burge all the best for the rest of the season.
Michael, quickly.
How's he done that?
Tashio.
Laurel and
Come on, Michael.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you. The point was, I was asking a question. Would everyone rather have had John McLaughlin, who I think, by the way, like I said, I think McLaughlin is better than Lee Burge. Would you rather have John McLaughlin, who's a really good goalkeeper, but a very, very questionable back line in front of him? Or would you rather have Lee Burge, who's not as good but still competent, but a much better defence in front of him?
I didn't hear the question because I was
messing about.
So sorry about that.
I'll repeat it then. Would you rather?
No. I'll just say yes. So just very quick, because I want to try and get to the live chat as well. Ryan Skeffers says Phillips in to coach the forward line. which would be not a bad shout, that actually. Dan Hill also says dream team, Nigel Pearson and Phillips together. So I've got to say, I'm not a fan of Pearson. I'm not a fan of Pearson as a bloke. I don't really like him, but he's done pretty good as a manager. And
Passionate.
So you know that's not a bad call either, I don't think. Right, we've coming to the end, towards the end, and what I wanted to do was mention about the transfer. The transfer deadline's not on Monday for us, is that right? Sean, you seem to know what's happening with that. Can you fill us in?
It's on Monday. It ends at 11 o'clock. That's international transfers, but I believe to the 16th. You can make transfers in the UK. Oh, sorry, is that Britain or is it just the English League? Michael, is that right?
As far as I'm aware, I think it's the EFL.
Yeah.
The EFL clubs shut on October 16th. Someone tell me in the comments if I'm wrong.
Right. Okay. So you're saying the 16th for the shut of that.
It's the 5th. It's the 5th at 11 o'clock for international transfers. That shuts on Monday tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. International transfers, but on the 16th, that's when basically all transfers are shut. It's like you can still do transfers after Monday, just in your league.
Right. Is that just in our league, or is that in the EFL?
I think it's Premier League as well. I'm sure your Premier League you can get loan players off the Premier League as well. I'm pretty certain.
Right. Before we continue with that, I just want to probably the best quote on the live chat so far goes to Dan Trend Videos. Right. He's put, Philly has handled so many boxes, he's probably picked up Hermes. Clever.
We would like to apologise for the very shocking behaviour on tonight's show, everyone.
Yes, that's brilliant.
Apologies.
That is so good. Oh God, I'm nicking that one. Right, so transfer window then. Do we realistically think we're going to get anybody in? Well, I'm talking about anybody. I know we've said different things. Oh, we need this, we need that, we need covering certain places, we need that's it. Creative midfielder. Anybody? Do we think that we'll actually sign anybody? Mad mistake?
Not a chance. Not a chance. Windows closed on the Sunderland front.
Right, Dan Walker says it is the 16th for League One. If somebody can clear up, or EFL can only do business with the Premier League until October the 16th. So it looks like, so it looks like Premier League deadline is tomorrow, says here. David Walker says, and so the Championship, League One, League Two, and all the others can carry on until the 16th. Am I right with that? Yes.
I think that's right about right. Yeah, I think that's what everyone's sat like anyway.
Right. Okay. Dino, chances of us signing anything?
Well, everyone knows we need players. We need striker, creative midfielder, and a left back. But the last signing we made, I can't even remember who it was. Probably Benji, since he is technically a new signing because we did release him and we've got him back on a contract because no one else wanted him. So for me, that was the last one, getting Benji's contract over the line. I think that was the last throw of the dice from Sunderland, and I think we'll get nobody in. I don't even think we'll get anyone in January either, to be honest.
Well, you never know. We might find a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. All right, to spend.
Awful crap.
Michael, are we likely to sign anyone?
Is this the pot of gold analogy with the rainbow eyes you had there just a second ago?
Yeah, that's the idea. Well spotted, Michael. Well done.
Okay. Probably a left back, just like on a really fourth choice player from a bottom half Prem team.
Do you remember the Saint? No, you're too young.
Roger Moore.
Not. Left back, but no more. We'll either get a left back who's a free agent or a young left back, just to sort of cover the salary cap thing. But other than that, no.
Sean, are we signing anybody?
I would love to see us bring in 2 or 3 players. Felix Madison.
That's the most acceptable one he's done so far.
I mean, I put a tweet up the other day, and I think he's saying about the 4 players. I mean, that there was 4 free players, like good players who could have made a difference to our team this season. Nangelia, Garbett, Fraser, and Madison. Them 4 players, 4 free transfers, and we didn't sign one of them. That's upstairs. That's the owner. That's lack of ambition. Stuart Donald, he's a con man. You know the way I feel about him. He doesn't want to spend any money. You know, he just wants to flip it out and try and gamble on promotion again this year. Will we bring any more players in? I'd like to think so, but I can't see it.
Here's a good shout on the chat. AJJ, Billy Sharp, long-term loan. That would be a beauty for me. Jacob, are we going to sign anybody?
On the fence, unfortunately. I think with this salary cap,
get off the
this
fence.
salary cap has done everyone in. If we are to get, I think it will just be like a loan deal to the end of the season. It will be like a youngster from either a Championship or a Premier League club. But will Parkinson play that person? Probably not. I think it will just be someone to make up the numbers in the squad. So, yeah, I think we'll get at least one in, but it will be a loan signing until the end of the season.
Right. Well, that's just about. Oh, hang on. Mad Mistake is desperate to get in. Wants the last word.
Just bring back Aidan McGeady.
It's already there. Still contracted.
Bring him back in the side. Bring him back in the 23 or 22, whatever it is. In the
right.
squad.
So tell you what, then we'll discuss that on Thursday. We're still going to do a show on Thursday. I think we've got some ideas lined up for you, so make sure you tune in for that. And we'll on next week on the Sunday Bunch, because obviously there isn't a game next week because our side is full of international players. That's how good we are. So because of the internationals going on, means we're not going to be. We're not going to be playing, but we will do a show on Thursday, and we will be back next Sunday for a Sunday Bunch, and we'll be having a look at how the teams around us as fared, and see if we're still up in fourth place. Fourth place, still unbeaten, only 1 conceded goal in open play, and it's still doom and gloom. I don't know what's the matter with you all, man. We're up by Easter and all that. Right. Look, we've got to go. Don't forget, please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Please do so. We're trying to get to 5,000 by Christmas if we can. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment if you've missed it and you're watching it back. You're not watching it live, then please leave us a comment and do that. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for that. But if you can just ask a friend or a family member or something like that to subscribe as well, that would be great. So once again, from myself, Wee Philly, from the Mad Mistake, from Dino, from Michael Bowers, from Sean Middleton, and from Jacob, right, the Arsenal fan. It's the Iron Brew. It's done it. Right then, and we'll see you all on when will we see you? Thursday. We'll see you then. Oh, before I go, we're gonna put we mentioned on Thursday that I appeared on Soccer AM as the Fans of the Week back in 1999. We managed to find it, and I've converted it, so we're gonna put it onto the channel probably tomorrow or
exciting times
Thursday. And watch for the bit where I say to Hell's Bells, would you like a muffin? And we'll leave it there. So we'll see you. We'll see you. Bye.